Okay, we spoke about simplified DES and we said this understanding is important for understanding the actual DES. Here we work with reduced plain text and key sizes and reduced number of rounds. We work with key of 10 bits, plain text 8, ciphertext will surely be 8 and 2 rounds. Okay, but I showed you the procedure: initial permutation, functions, swapping, second round function. Each round function uses a round key K1, K2. We saw how this round function is implemented in detail when in the simplified DES. We saw this key generation algorithm, the round functions. You see Fk represents that round function, initial permutation. Then we have swapping, this one, in between swapping. Then second round function with second round key, and in the end IP inverse without any swapping. So all this we saw. Let's move on to the regular DES. The regular DES works with 64-bit blocks instead of 8-bit blocks. Okay, and here the key size will be 56-bit. Actually, we will start off with 64-bit key, but we will reduce it to 56-bit in the first permutation. And everything, wherever we had 8 bits, we will be working with 64 bits. That is, your initial permutation would be of 64. And the function will operate on 1/2 of data. Half of 64 is 32 bits. There, half was 4 bits. It will work on 32 bits at a time. And we have 8 substitution boxes instead of 2. There we had only 2. Here we need 8 substitution boxes. And we'll be working with 16 rounds instead of 2 rounds. So SDES equations can be written in this form. You can just go through. What is important for you and from examination point of view is your regular DES. As you can see here, this regular DES will have the same feastal structure and the same block diagram which we had in simplified DES, except that we can't show the expanded block diagram here because we are working with for more data and multiple rounds. So initially the 64-bit plain text will be passed through an initial permutation where you are just shuffling the 64 bits, and after shuffling you will send it to round 1. Here round 1 you are going to apply round 1 function and the round 1 key K1 here. Output of round 1 will be sent to round 2 after a swap operation. The swap is not shown separately, it is included. So after a swap, again when it goes to round 2, we apply the function and the key for round 2. Like this, it will continue for 16 rounds where we apply the 16th round key in the 16th round, and after that we do a final 32-bit swap. This wasn't done in SDES, but we are doing it here. So once we do a swap, then we will apply it to IP inverse or inverse initial permutation to get the 64-bit ciphertext. Okay, so everything is shown in the form of a simplified block diagram. Now coming to the key generation, as I told you, we are given a 64-bit key, and when we pass it through permutation 1, it's called PC1 or permuted choice 1. It is down converted to 56 bits. From 64, we reduce 8 bits and we come down to 56. And if you remember key generation, remember we split this 56 into half, right? So 27, 28, 28 bits. And on the each one we perform one left circular shift. One left shift we perform. After that one left shift, we apply the second permuted choice. P8 we used to do that. So here it is PC2, from which we are going to get again reduced number of bits, 48 bits. We are going to generate a 48-bit key and we will add it to round 1 function. Remember, in the round 1 function, you will be working with halves, 32 bits and all, and that 32 you would have converted and you would have changed to 48 and you will add. Anyway, it's the same procedure, but the bit sizes are varying. Again, after this, the data will pass for the second round left circular shift, after which PC2, second permutation, again 48 bit second round key. Like this, it will continue and generate round keys for 16 rounds which is used. So, you can observe this is the complete block diagram of the DES encryption algorithm. Each value you can see the initial permutation is an 8 cross 8 matrix where we have shuffled the bit values like this. Okay, and IP inverse will be inverse of this initial permutation. You can't remember all this. You can just practice and write arbitrarily. You say permutation tables will be 8 cross 8 matrix and initial IP inverse will also be that. Then for the key schedule calculation, the input key will start with 64 and in the first permuted choice, you see PC1 is mentioned here. You are just going to eliminate the rightmost column. You will get 56 bits. So 8 bits, the rightmost column is eliminated from input key of 64. You get 56. In permuted choice 2, you will eliminate some more values where you will reduce from 56 to 48. Okay. Another 8 bits you are going to reduce. You are going to get a 48 bit key after PC2. See, the schedule of left shifts is shown. In first round, we will do one left shift on the 28 half bits of two halves of the key. 56 by 2 is 28. We'll perform only one shift in the first round, one shift in the second, two shifts in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds, one shift in the 9th round, again two shifts in 10 to 15 rounds and one shift in the 16th. The schedule of left shifts is also mentioned. See, understanding all this will show you how complex the calculation is and why it is not possible for people to decrypt. Now, another very important question from examination point of view is single round of DES algorithm. So, we just showed the block diagram as round 1, round 2. What is there in each round we are going to see here. So, let us start here. We start off with two halves of the data. Let's say this is round I. So from the previous round, I have the left half Li minus 1 and right half Ri minus 1, 32 bit value each. Now, just like simplified DES, the 32 bits will be passed through expand permute block where we are going to convert this 32 to 48 first. The values are given E bar P block where we'll convert 32 bits to 48. Then we will XOR it with the key of this particular round. This is the ith round. So Ki is the key. Perform this XOR operation. After that, the 48-bit result of XOR is passed through substitution boxes or S boxes where we send 8 bits each to 6 substitution boxes. We are going to use 6 substitution boxes and for every substitution box you give an 8-bit input whereas you get only 4-bit output. So finally, I'll show you how it is implemented. Maybe it is 8 substitution boxes with 6-bit input. I'll just check. Yeah, 8 substitution boxes with 6-bit inputs and every 6-bit is converted to a 4-bit output. So here, sorry. Here, I'll have 8 S boxes. Each S box will take 8-bit input. sorry, 6-bit input, 6 8s 48, right? S0 and S7. It will generate a 4-bit output from each 4-bit. So 4 into 8 is 32 bits. That's what you get here. 32 bits you're going to get. And that you will now again pass through a second permutation. We used P4 in SDES. Here again P32, we are going to pass it through a second round of permutation, and that we are going to what? Finally XOR with the left half of the data. So the left half will be substituted because we are XORing the output of this function box. You see the dotted lines is the function box. You perform this XOR and whatever you get, that becomes your right half, and your previous right half will become left half. That's what I told you. The swapping operation is inbuilt. So actually when we added the left half to this should have been the left half, but it has shifted to the right half, and the previous old right half has come to the left half position. Okay, so the swapping is performed after every round. Now let's see the key generation. As I told you, this 56-bit key in each round is divided into two halves, left and right, 28 bits each. And we perform left shift on the two halves separately. The schedule of left shifts I have shown in the previous slide. So depending on the round, that many left shifts will be performed. After left shift, it is passed through permutation choice 2, or it's a contraction permutation, where we are going to divide this 56 bits to 48 bits. So output of this PC2, permuted choice 2, will be a 48-bit key, which is given as the input to that particular round. So for the next round again, the value before this PC2 after left shift is passed on as CI and DI inputs to the next bit, and this process continues. Okay, so this is how DES works. See, expand permute block, permutation function block, the S boxes. I told you 8 S boxes where 6-bit inputs and 4-bit outputs are obtained from the S boxes. So total input is what? 48 bits. Total output will be 32 bits. And each S box is shown. Each S box is a 4 cross 16 matrix. As you can see, 4 rows and 16 columns. And in every S box, why it should be 4 cross 16? You see here, it has 6-bit inputs. So say for example, the 6 bits are something like this. The first and last bits specify the row in the S box. The middle 4 bits will specify the column. So since I have 2 bits for the row, 2 bits for the row, 2 square or 4 rows are available in S boxes, and 2 power 4, 4 bits for the column, 16 columns will be present in the S box which we have defined. Okay, that's what I showed you in the next slide. These one. All S boxes are shown. An example DES is shown, but it is written in hexadecimal. Okay, we have used a palindrome 0246. It starts with, it ends with 6420. Anyway, the key is given, the ciphertext generated will be this. If you try to either find a code for this or write a code in C or Python, you will be able to show this output. Okay. The following table will show the progression. Yeah. So here you can observe. Let me just move this. Okay. See here the key value KILIRI. In every round, what is the output of left half, right half, and the key? It is shown. This is shown for 16 rounds. Initial round is permutation IP. After 16 rounds, it is IP inverse. And whatever value you got here, that is your ciphertext DA02, CE3A, 89, so on. There is something called as avalanche effect in DES, which means a small change in key will produce a large change in the ciphertext. This is very, very good for security. If I'm able to, if somebody is guessing keys, even if he comes with within 1 bit difference of your actual key, still he'll not be able to decipher the text correctly. He'll not be able to get back the plain text. So 1 bit change in key will produce multiple bit change. So you see here, we have shown in this example, this was the plain text, okay, and we have changed, this was the key, we have changed the key by 1 bit. So we have introduced a change in key by 1 bit, but at the end of 16 rounds, you see the ciphertext which was generated in the previous case and this case would have changed from each other by 32 bits. So a single bit key change will produce what? 32-bit. In this case, we have changed the plain text by 1 bit. You got 32-bit change in the ciphertext. In the next table, we have changed the key by 1 bit, and with a 1 bit change in key, you got approximately 30 bits change in the final ciphertext. So a single bit change can produce up to 32 bits of change, which is very encouraging in maintaining security. Anybody trying to discover the key, even 1 bit changes in the 64-bit key, everything goes wrong. Okay. So how much is the average time applied for an exhaustive key search? Brute force technique, we said. Exhaustive key search means with 64 bits, how many possibilities are there? You have 2 power 64 possibilities to try with 64-bit key. So if you are going to try all the 2 power 64 possibilities, that is called exhaustive search or brute force. So if you are going to try all the possibilities in the key, you see here with key size 56, 64 reduced to 56, DES will be having capacity of 2 power 56. This should be power 2 power 56, which turns out to be 7.2 into 10 power 16. And what is the time required at the rate of 10 to the power of 9 decryptions per second? If I am able to perform 10 power 9 decryptions per second, which means we are working at the speed of nano. So it needs 2.55, 2 to the power of 55 nanoseconds, which is approximately 1.125 years. So nearly 1 year or so. But if our processor speed is high, if I am able to perform decryptions at the rate of 10 to the power of 13 decryptions per second, using this exhaustive key search also, within 1 hour you will be able to get the correct plain text correctly. Whereas in AES we work with 128-bit keys. So you see proportionately these numbers are increasing. Triple DES 168-bit key, AES 192 and 256. In AES we work with 3 key sizes. We'll see that in the next chapter, next module. You just see the 26 character monoalphabetic cipher. Even that, if we use a proper cipher, it will need around 6.3 into 10 power 6 years. All, just look at this. It is 10 power 17, 10 power 29. All these things, except the basic DES, the other things are almost impossible to decrypt. Okay. So all this we saw. The different attacks on DES. You have 3 types of attacks: timing attacks, differential cryptanalysis and linear cryptanalysis. So in timing attacks, the information gained about the key or plain text is by observing how long it takes to decrypt. So you're going to observe different steps in decryption and the time taken, and accordingly you will try to get some information. but there is no useful timing attack. Differential cryptanalysis will observe how pairs of the plain text blocks evolve. So at every round, how the plain text blocks will change and what happens it is going to observe. So with this, they have proven that you can break the DES in 2 to the power of 47 encryptions. It should be decryptions compared to 2 power 55. Okay. So this should be 2 to the power of 47. See, we have shown a reduction by a factor of 2 power 8. A reduction by a factor of 2 power 8 is possible if we do differential cryptanalysis and we have a chance to observe how pairs of plain text blocks evolve. Okay. And if we do linear cryptanalysis, we'll find linear approximations for the transformations. And with that, they have shown that it is possible to do the decryption in 2 to the power of 43 known plain text. You should have known plain text blocks. If you have 2 power 43 known plain text blocks, you will be able to do it. Okay, I think you can read through this. It's all simple text. So whatever I have, I have to tell you the same thing. So multiple encryption is possible with DES, where double encryption is double DES. Twice we are going to encrypt and use two different keys. We can also use two same keys also. Triple encryption, you see, has three encryption blocks with three different keys. Usually what we do, we encrypt, we decrypt and we encrypt again. So once you encrypt and decrypt, you got the plain text. Again, when you encrypt, you are still getting ciphertext. This technique proves to be quite useful to hide the essence of data, and decryption will be decrypt, encrypt, decrypt blocks. This has become very popular these days. Along with AES, triple DES is also quite popular. Here we can work with the same key or we can have different keys. So I think with this, I will end this recording. We'll continue. You have to study till here, all this for the test. Thank you.